Welcome to this program, which originated by enactment of new federal tax legislation in 2025. This video is coordinated with Xspouse support.
Hello, I am the avatar for Judge Harry Pawazek, now retired, working as a private judge. Near the conclusion of this short video, I will provide a judicial perspective on this presentation.
I am the unofficial avatar for Xspouse support software. Xspouse welcome user-supplied tutorial materials such as this video.
During this presentation, I will refer to the Xspouse avatar as Mr. X. We proceed with an explanation of the new tax legislation governing qualified overtime. As shown at my left, the recent tax legislation allows a deduction for qualified overtime pay. Starting with version 2025-2, Xspouse makes calculations for qualified overtime and its limitation, assuming the input to the software is correct. The $25,000 deduction is applied to married taxpayers overall. Thus, Harry may have zero overtime, and Wilma $25,000 and qualify under the limitation. Qualified overtime pay is not 100% of overtime wages. Rather, only the overtime premium qualifies. So if overtime wages total $24,000, the deduction is $8,000, being the half of the time and a half OT compensation. Be aware there is a limitation on the deduction amount. Xspouse, starting with version 2025-2, makes the calculation for you, assuming correct input to the software. Here is a typical support worksheet. Line 1 includes total wages, including total overtime pay. Regular pay is $100,000, and overtime pay is $24,000. Of the $24,000 overtime amount, $16,000 is at the regular rate, and $8,000 is the extra half to make OT time and a half. The $8,000 is also reflected in line 4 as input for the qualified overtime deduction. Mr. X, please demonstrate the input to the software.
Mr. X here with guidance on entering qualified overtime into the software. There are 2 steps. Step 1. Enter total wages into the parties column. That would include overtime. Step 2. Click on the parties box for adjustments to income to open the detail screen. On the detail screen, enter the qualified overtime amount. Note this amount is the excess over base wage. The program makes the limitation calculations automatically. The key is entering the overtime in both the main screen as a component of wages and the adjustments to income screen. This is the main screen after completion of steps 1 and 2. Please note that the overtime premium amount must be entered on the adjustments to income detail screen as we previously illustrated to arrive at the proper computation.
Counsel need to remember, if the parties are married, the OT tax deduction is only for joint tax returns. What can be considered overtime can vary greatly depending on the compensation package. It's much less complicated with a set annual salary, but that is rarely the case. Is the overtime income being called something else in order to lessen the support obligation? It is not unusual for this to occur. It may be cost-effective to use a year-to-date calculation unless using the overtime deduction as discussed would make a substantial difference in the support order.